Recording on. Okay, so back to screen share. Again, Happy New Year. Welcome. I'd like to call the January 2021 Leadership Summit to order. And with that, just a quick review of the agenda. We have announcements from our key four, although I understand Gary is not going to be with us tonight. Then we're going to go over highlights, and Otto's going to handle that. And then council activity and announcements. And then we'll do the updates from the districts. And I know there's a couple of people, both Andy and Kendra have things to say for sure, but we'll go around the table as we normally do. We have two breakouts, and tonight your breakouts are a little different. You get to pick. So when I open up the breakout sessions, you can go to the bottom of your screen or wherever you have it on your screen, and you pick the breakout you want, and you just go there. So there's no more having to put initials or anything after your name or changing your name. And that's a nice upgrade that will help us in the future, I hope. And our two breakouts tonight, Red Jacket is going to have a district discussion. And we also have a presentation on scouting through the pandemic. And we'll be getting to that a little later. Okay. Next, could we all scout salute, or if you're not in uniform, hands over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Two. Thank you. And now I'm going to turn it over to our key four, which tonight is key three. And who would like to start? Steve, Darlene, or Jill?
I will start.
Darlene. There you go.
I will start. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to share some positive things that happened in 2020 in the Greater Niagara Frontier Council. As we start this new year, I wanted to reflect a little bit on some of our accomplishments. I've only touched on a few because I want to keep this brief. First of all, many of our units are finding creative ways to continue scouting. I'm amazed at the community service projects completed and the outdoor adventures that everyone is having. In 2020, we had 113 scouts achieve Eagle Scout despite the pandemic. This compares to 150 in 2019, which is pretty remarkable. Our summer camp directors are planning a pretty amazing experience for all to experience. If you have not signed up for summer camp, you might want to do that, as spots will be limited due to the anticipated restriction on the number of people we can put in camp. My term as your council president ends next week. It has been my honor and pleasure to serve. While we have had and continue to have some interesting challenges, it just goes to show how resilient scouting and scouters can be. While I will not be your president, I am not going far away. I will serve as the vice president of membership, and I'm hoping that you will all join with me and help us work together so that we can bring our membership back up in 2021. Steve Malik will be taking the helm next week, and he will share what he plans. I want to thank you for all of the support and hard work that you have offered this past 3 years of my term, and especially this last year. God bless you all. And Steve and I are going to pass the torch. So I'm going to pass it on to Steve. Welcome, Steve, as our new president.
Thank you, Darlene. Well, I've had numerous conversations with the board, with key people on our committees, and especially with Gary Decker. and also with Joe and Darlene. And this year presents some real challenges for us. It seems like every year does, but with the pandemic and the pending bankruptcy from National, we certainly have our work cut out for us. But I do want to say just a couple of things about where we're going and what I'd like to do in the immediate future. First of all, I think it's very important that we develop a sustainable council, which means that we can take care of ourselves and move forward in the future with respect to two most important things we hear a lot about, and that's membership and fundraising. Without the money to operate and without the ability to service the youth of Western New York, we really can't do anything. And so it's very important that we focus on those two things and we do the best we can in order to improve our membership and the goal of obtaining funds to continue to operate so that we can do programming. And that said, one of the key features of scouting is to develop a world-class program. Without a world-class program, without a really good program, we're not going to attract children and we're not going to attract the fundraising that we need. So programming is going to be a key feature. With that, camping, both summer camp and year-round camping, deserves and needs a quality program. And what do I need by that? What we need to do is develop a method to provide programming when troops and scouts go out to camp during the year on weekends. I know we would go out with the troop many times to Shelkhoff or to Scout Haven, and we were sort of left on our own to develop our own program. But the idea here, and I know Dave Bliss has talked about this in the past along with his committee, is to provide something for the troops to look forward to when they get out there. In addition, the idea also is to provide resources to deliver to units so that they can energize and enhance their own unit programming. And with that, a key feature is to develop programming at the district level because they're the people that implement this. So those are key things that we want to do. I think we focus on those a lot and have in the past, but it's critical for us to move forward to keep those in mind. And on a personal note, I would like you to know that one of the key things I'd like to focus on this year and the following is to develop scouting opportunities for children with special needs. You know, I come to you as someone with special needs. Now, some of you may make jokes about that, but I have an eye disability, and this has been severely limiting throughout my professional career. It makes me very sensitive to what kids with special needs require, and we have an opportunity to serve all children, and they are part of that group. And with that in mind, I want to talk a little bit about my younger son, Dave. Dave joined Boy Scouts, or what we used to call Boy Scouts, in the spring of 2002, and we went out to Shelkhoff that summer for summer camp. And when we were there, Dave decided that he wanted to take swimming merit badge. And Dave came to us with disabilities. He had an individual education program throughout grammar school, middle school, and high school. And Dave knew how to press my buttons. And one of the key things about scouting in the troop 261 is that the other leaders saw how hard I was trying to help Dave and to steer him in the right direction. And they came up to me and took me aside and said, you know what, Steve, let us do it. And they did. Dave decided he wanted to take swimming merit badge at that first summer camp. Now, Dave can swim, he could float, he could stay in the water, but he couldn't dive. And as a kid with an IEP, he was just determined that he was going to get that merit badge. And Dave Bliss and the waterfront staff and A number of other counselors were down with Dave at that waterfront every spare moment to try and get him to get his head into the water first. And at the end of the week, he didn't do it. And so I was putting together the merit badge list and talking to the program director, Herb Schmidt. And I said, Herb, I know he didn't get the badge, he didn't dive, but could you at least give him a certificate of appreciation to show that he had really, really tried hard? Well, Herb went back and talked to the waterfront staff. And what he discovered was that Dave was able to do a dive from a kneeling position. And so they checked the requirements in the advancement book and determined that that counted. So he got the badge. So even though Dave really chose the hard route, who needs to take a swimming merit badge at first camp? But he did. And even though he had an IEP, he tells me to this day that scouting changed his life, and it did. He was able to get himself declassified from the IEP. He graduated in 3 years from Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, and now he's completing a PhD from Notre Dame. Scouting changed his life, and scouting changed mine. I've been here with you as an adult in this movement for 27 years. And so I bring that wealth of experience and knowledge to the table. You can call me anytime. I've been getting phone calls and emails already. So let me know what your needs are, and I'm here to serve you. And thank you. Joe?
Thanks, Steve. Thank you very much, and welcome to you from all of us as you take on your new role. I'd like to take a couple minutes and speak to everybody about just 3 very quick items. And the first one is, or the first 2 are building character and exercising leadership. And that's a lot about what we're doing right now is we are working to create the future leaders, and by instilling in them the values of the Scout Oath and Scout Law, which will build tremendous character for all of them. And why is this so relevant today? Because scouting is more important today than it ever has been. Things are difficult in our country. They're difficult with the pandemic. And the reason I bring up character and leadership is I would like to thank Darlene Sprague for her character and leadership and the example that she set and the leadership that she provided our council with over the last 3 years. And if I repeat something someone else said, I apologize, but I lost connectivity for about 30 seconds in the beginning of Steve's speech. But typically a president serves for 2 years, and because we changed over scout executives, Darlene stuck around an extra year. It's not a small ask. And interesting is we didn't have to ask. Darlene volunteered, and she stood up to the challenge. And just on behalf of all of us, I would like to thank her for that. And I'd like to thank Steve for accepting the ask to leadership. And I'm looking forward to his leadership as we move forward on the scouting trail. It's been a rough trail for us. It twists, it turns, but that's what we do. We work to teach young people in how to stay on the trail and to work their way towards their destination, regardless of what the obstacles are. That said, here we are, we're in recharter time, and recharter is more important now than ever. And boy, I say that every year, but it's a reality. So we have 196 units that are eligible to renew, and currently I have 21 of them that have not even begun the process. So I'm not naming names, and nor should I, but I would say this: if check with your unit, what is the status? Have they rechartered? Have they started their recharter? What is holding up the recharter? It's important. We really need to know where scouting stands in Western New York so that we have adequate resources to help it move forward and to help you move forward with your units. I'd ask each one of you to check on the status of your units, and if there's something you can do to help move things along, please do that. And youth protection training is a very large part of it. Sometimes that's what's holding things up. There is no bigger signal today than what's going on with Nationals bankruptcy that says we will not stand by and allow anybody to be in a scouting unit that is not properly registered and youth protection trained. It's the safety of the young people who take part in our programs that is above all our number one priority. From there, we'll build a program and provide quality leadership, and the commissioners are anxious to help with all of these things. So please reach out to your unit commissioner or your district commissioner in order to get the resources necessary to help you complete that. I urge you to get it done over the next 7 to 10 days, and let's move forward on the scouting trail and lead the youth of Western New York. Once again, thank you to Darlene. Welcome to Steve. Can't wait to continue to work with you. Steve's a longstanding volunteer and leader, and he's going to do great things with us and help lead the way. And let's all work together to lead our youth, and let's do it in a youth protected environment. That said, back to Mark Gaynor. And Mark, thank you very much for all the work you've done along with your team to help improve our leadership summits. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Joe. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Otto, and he is going to present tonight our Gnfc unit highlights.
It's always a tough act to follow the council leadership, but my job is going to be easy because we're just highlighting our units, and scouting continues the last basically from December and early in January. Just some of the activities that some of our units have been doing. I know that all of you here on the call could be on this list, but we just picked a few. And just want to start up with Onondaga, Pack 500. This holiday season, they collected food and toiletries for the Tri-Community Food Pantry. And with the effects of COVID sweeping our community, the pantry had seen a huge increase in the amount of need. So as well as food, there was a large demand for toiletries that people cannot purchase with normal assistance, such as food stamps. So big hand to Pack 500. The next one, we had Pack 193 out of Polaris. It started off the new year by hiking Walton Woods at Walton Woods. Bit of ice, a few there, and a stop at the playground made this hike great for our scouts and their families. So Happy New Year from Pack 193. This is Troop 1910 out of Red Jacket, where they had 10 scouts that did a backpack hike carrying 10 pounds of non-perishables and donating actually well over 100 pounds of non-perishables to feed Hamburg. So all just great activities, and scouting definitely continued. The next topic I'm going to talk about, again, I sent this information out to a couple of weeks ago regarding our top sellers as it relates to popcorn. Again, even in a difficult year, units still raised well over $100,000 that went back to units. So congrats to everyone and every single unit that participated. I believe we had 85 units participate. So great job to all. The top selling scout in each district received the Maid of the Mist boat tour and a one-night hotel stay at the Doubletree Hotel in Niagara Falls, compliments of the Doubletree Hotel. And these are our top sellers, and shout out to Grayson Shelp, who is our top selling scout in the council, 10,815. So that definitely deserves a round of applause. Out of Polaris, and they're chartered, that's Pack 425, chartered by St. Martin in the Field Church. Then we have Xavier Troutman. He sold $506 out of Tatanka, Pack 60, so great job. And then we have Sam Lefko, who sold $5,494 out of Red Jacket from Troop 509. And Ryan Helms, who sold $2,380 out of Onondaga, Pack 155. Congrats to our top selling unit out of Red Jacket as well, Troop 509, and they sold 21,000. The screen just left, but I was believe 21,000 and in change. So congrats and thank you guys for all you're doing. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Otto. And thank you to all of our council staff, everybody who's put in everything that they're doing and working so hard for. So with that, let's go back to this. We have share. Boom. Any council activities or announcements? And this is where I turn to the different committees, camping.
Yeah, Mark, it's Andy Loeb. I'm on the phone. My computer sort of crapped out on me with so many people on the call. So I do have a couple of council-wide activity announcements to make.
Go ahead.
I want to remind everyone that the Scout Adventure Challenge is open. It's on. We've got units that have already started participating. The registration information is on the calendar section. And is Dick Hanneberg on the call?
I do not see him.
Okay, well, we've sent out a couple of flyers that I think all of the unit leaders should have received. There's another one in the process of going out, but this is an activity that the individual youth can do on their own with the family, or they might be able to team up with another scout that's close by, as long as they follow all the social distancing. So look on the flyer on the council website with regard to that. If anyone's got any questions on it or they haven't seen anything about it, they can send me an email.
Amy Valancourt had raised her hand. I think she has a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, we are actually participating in that. Do we know who, there's the one about design the PPE, so like design a mask for the kids. Do we know who they're supposed to, submit that to? Because our
Yeah,
club master
if
has
they
no
could get
idea.
it, if they could get it into the council office to Dick, and then with Dick's help in facilitating in the collection, then Mona and I will gather them up and we'll get them out to the esteemed judging panel.
Okay, so do you want them
to
emailed
review.
to Dick or like in person handed, like in the office?
If you can email it, that would be great.
Okay.
If the email doesn't work, then get it into him at the
Okay,
office.
I was gonna say, because I have
the email,
several kids in my pack that are doing it.
okay, that's great.
So,
Thanks, Amy.
Yeah, okay. That was just a question I was supposed to ask.
Yeah, no, perfect. Nope, I love it.
Thank
Were there any other questions, Mark?
Not that I see. Nobody has chatted me a question and no one else rose their hand.
Okay, and one other item, I don't know if it's considered a council activity, but some scouters might have received an email from me with regard to the rehab of Shelkhoff cabin at SSR. They've done a fantastic job, Steve Slazak and his crew, in rehabbing that cabin. I can't say enough about how awesome it looks. And I sent out an email asking to collect some small donations to help offset the cost of that. If you got the email, that's great. Please consider a donation of what you can do. If anyone wants to contribute, send me an email and I'll get the details of how the money is going to be collected and how we're going to make sure that it gets assigned to the camp to help defer some of the costs of that rehab. But if you get a chance to go out to Shelkhoff, you got to see that cabin. It looks fantastic.
Thank you, Andy.
Okay.
Anything else from any other committees? Dave, you almost always have something. Dave Bliss?
Very, very briefly, I just want to do a promotion for Birch Bark. We still have slots available. We're running 5 weeks of canoe treks, hopefully in Algonquin Park, if the Americans and Canadians can open up the borders. But just so everybody knows, we're also going full steam ahead with planning a alternate treks in the Adirondacks. We're going to be using Massawepie as a base camp for the first day and a half. And the nice thing about the Adirondacks, it's not available in Algonquin, is we can do combined 3-day canoe treks and 2 days climbing, or if you want to climb for all 5 days, it's available. So we can design whatever kind of trek you want. That's all.
Thank you very much, Dave. Anybody else? Anybody?
Mark?
Yes.
Yeah, this is Chuck Pyrak. Just wanted to let you know that there's a virtual Klondike event being planned from February 12th for 3 weeks. It's being led by Polaris in conjunction with the Onondaga District. There'll be a registration coming on in about a week and a half, as well as the program guide. And Kendra, did you want to say anything else about that?
Unmute. Sorry, I was muted. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can. Oh, see your screen? No, you have not shared it yet.
It says I am sharing.
Let me stop mine. There you go. Now try sharing.
It says I am sharing.
Okay. Let me remove your spotlight.
Oh, she is sharing. It's up on mine.
It's up on yours? Wow.
Yep, we can see it.
It's pretty.
Okay,
neat.
so if you can see, it's Snowvid 21 Klondike is coming up, and it's going to be a 3-week-long adventure. So the scouts are going to be given a series of different activities that they can complete during that period of time. They can do it, it's set up so that they can act as an individual and complete those activities and score points, or they can mesh up together with a buddy or a small patrol and work together as a small team like that. The website, the GNFC calendar website, has starting on the date of February 12th, it has the link on the calendar, so you can go there. And registration opens up on the 22nd, so you can actually start registering for this on the 22nd of January. And we're working very hard to come up with a lot of different, a variety of activities so the kids can do things. Hopefully we'll have snow, but if we don't have snow, we've written it up so that they can still function and do the activities without the snow. Can I keep on going, Mark?
Absolutely.
Okay, also Polaris. Polaris has worked very hard. Actually, Brandon Blatz probably, maybe with a little help of Bob Blatz, has worked on our Polaris District website. And you can now go to westernnewyorkscouting.org, to their website, go to About Us, then Districts, then Polaris, and you can find all the information and links that you need for Eagle Project submissions and approvals. You can see the link for all Leadership Summit roundtables. These are being recorded and you can go back on and view them after the fact. You can also find the district award nomination links. Our award nomination deadline is coming up shortly. So if you were to go there, you can print out the forms and get them sent in to either your unit commissioner or to Brandon. If you see at the bottom of the page, you will see a district committee patch image and a unit commissioner patch image. If you click on the district committee patch, you can see the whole district committee and all their contact information. There's also a link there that you can see our district org chart. If you click on the unit commissioner patch, you'll be able to see the commissioner assignments and the contact information for the commissioners in Polaris. So that's our website. It's been upgraded a little bit and it's got all kinds of easy to access information. Next, kind of from an announcements standpoint, BSA National has sent out over the last month a few different things that we wanted to make sure that you were aware of. First of all, there is a female Eagle Scout recognition, Be the Change. And this link that I'm showing here is posted on the Leadership Summit / Roundtable website on the Western New York Scouting.org website. The new Eagle Scout Project Workbook has come out. This is the one that the Scouts should be using moving forward. So there's a link for that. There are also updated Eagle Scout extension requirements, which became effective January 1st. They're different than they used to be. And
Kendra?
they're very, very specific and easy to understand.
Kendra, this is Mark Ottinger. I'll jump in on that one.
Yes, please.
Yeah, so beginning January 1st, Eagle Scout extensions, short-term ones, no longer have to go to national to be approved. The Gnfc Advancement Committee can approve them here locally. And there is a form that needs to be filled out. And right now you can send the form and the justification to Dick Hannibal. We are in the process of setting up an email address for those submissions that anybody can use throughout the council. So quick update on that.
Okay. Moving forward, there are several merit badges that also have had changes in requirements. Some COVID accommodations have been made to some of them, so you might want to check that out. There's also a current COVID FAQ from BSA telling you where we stand and what the rules are for interacting with Scouts during COVID. The other thing is there has been a release of a statement that says the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Merit Badge has been postponed and they will be carefully reviewing it after they received feedback from people across the country. So those are the general announcements that have been coming out this month or the last couple of months. And you can find all of these things on the Roundtable and Leadership Summit link on the webpage. That's it.
Kendra, on that merit badge on diversity and inclusion, and of course, because of that, starting in April, it will not be a requirement for Eagle as it originally had been planned. So it's on hold. But thank you for bringing it up.
I know that there were some Scouts that were keeping that in their vision, so they would make sure that they were on top of things.
Okay. Any other updates from the council at the council level?
I think there's a question in the chat about someone's asking if the Campership application's available, and I think Chris has punted that to Dave Bliss.
Dave?
Yeah, I just unmuted myself. Yes, we are taking Campership applications. I think Chris is going to have to help me out. We're going to be using the same one we revised for last year, and they were available on the both camp websites, both camp homepages. Those camperships are for the Cub Camp at Scout Haven and the Scouts BSA at Scout Haven, and also for Birch Park. If you're going to a national high adventure base like Sea Base or Philmont, they have their own campership programs. Please don't apply for a national camp high adventure base through the council.
Okay. Any other questions or anything else from the council on activities or recruitment?
Mark, this is Jim Heinrich. I'd like to jump in with Philmont, if I
Sure.
could.
Absolutely.
The council has been approved for a contingent in 2022. So July 9th is when we're planning on leaving 2022 and leaving Philmont on July 22nd, 2022. Sounds like it's a long way away. However, time moves fast and doesn't wait for anyone, and the days are ticking off. If you're interested in going, you don't have to have a whole crew. You can be individual scouts, and we will merge you together into a crew. We need your application completed and a $250 deposit, and that can be turned into Sarah at the camping office at the council. And if you have any questions about it, you can contact myself or Dick at the council office.
Jim,
Thank
is
you.
that application on the Gnfc website?
It should be. I will verify that though.
Okay, any other questions for Jim? Nope. Okay, anyone else from the council on council activities or reports? Very good. Thank you very much. All right, let's go back. Okay, now I know Kendra just did some for Polaris. But let's jump into Onondaga. Do we have any updates or announcements from Onondaga? Ian?
Yes, we do. We have our annual Pinewood Derby is going to go virtual this year. It's going to be on April 10th. Information and registration on that will be going out next week. And we're also in the midst of updating all the district web pages to look kind of like what Polaris has out there. That's the model that we're going to be using for all four districts. That's coming in the weeks to come. I just looked on the camping website and we do not have the forms out there for camperships. We'll get that up tomorrow. And the Philmont link is not there either. So we'll work on that by the end of this week. That's all I have.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you, Bob.
Anybody else from Onondaga? Nope, going once, going twice. Kendra, anyone else from Polaris? Do you have anything else to add besides what you added on the website? And the
I
other
don't believe so, unless anybody speaks up right now.
once, going twice. Red Jacket, Andy on the phone.
Yeah, we're Red Jacket. We're going to do our breakout tonight. So Mark, if you can make sure that I get assigned to that group A, and others that are here on the call with regard to Red Jacket, I'll be getting a notice out. We're going to have a Red Jacket leaders meeting virtually next Tuesday evening. It's going to start at 6:30, and I'll get the reminder and the information out by Friday.
So Andy, if you could help me because you are on the phone now, what are the last four digits of your phone number?
5323.
Super. Because I don't know if you can select your own breakout using the phone. I haven't done that feature yet. So what I'm going to do is rename you to Andy. Oh, there we go. And I will make sure you get into the Red Jacket District discussion.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thanks,
Okay,
Mark.
anything else from Red Jacket?
No, that's it. Oh, Warren, you're on the call. If you've got anything else.
No, nothing else to add.
Okay.
Okay. And then finally, Tatanka. Anything from Tatanka?
Good evening, everyone. Just hearty congratulations to, again, all the top sellers and the popcorn campaign. Tatanka is definitely looking forward to participating and promoting the Klondike that Polaris and Onondaga are heading up. And, you know, still just trying to get going and think of some new, exciting and socially distant activities for our City Scouts to participate in. So other than that, just trying to stay the course. So thank you.
Thank you, Brian. All right. Is there any other business we need to take care of during our leadership summit before I open up the breakout sessions? Mary, are you ready for your breakout session? I know Andy's ready for his. Okay, so here we go. This is something new. When I open up these breakout sessions, you're going to be able to pick. Anybody who does not pick a breakout session will remain in the main room, and perhaps we can discuss some exciting things that are upcoming or we're planning, or things that have worked over the last 10 months in the pandemic here. So again, we do have 2 breakouts, and I'm going to open them up right now.
So Mark, can people come back from a breakout session should they wish to?
Absolutely.
And how would they do that?
If you go down to the bottom of your screen, you should see a section that says breakout section. And you get to pick now.
Nice.
You should see 2 breakouts. And I can watch who goes where, which is pretty cool. And I see people are doing that.
Oh, and on an iPad, it's on the side of your screen.
It's on the side of yours. Okay. That's
yeah.
I am going to put Andy into his, so give me 1 second.
Okay, great. Thanks, Mark.
Yep. Okay, I can see the number of people down, and I can see the other ones going up. I need to make sure Mary is in.
Hey, Mark.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I did click on the breakout room. However, it's not sending us there.
Really? Everybody else is going.
I can see that. I see the numbers growing.
Yeah, Mary, guess what? I'm going to put you in there, and then I'll be in there in just a minute to check on.
Okay, thank you.
Hi.
Mark, this is Paul Chambers. I don't have a breakout anywhere showing on my screen.
If you wiggle your cursor over your, where you see everybody, does it pop up on the bottom? It should say mute, stop video, security, participants, chat, share screen, and then one of them is breakout rooms. It's 4 little squares with a number by it.
Yeah, I don't have that on mine either.
I
don't have it on mine either.
You might have to click the more button with the 3 little dots down there, and then a little thing pops up, says join breakout room. At least that's what it does on mine.
Don't have 3 dots.
Right next to reactions.
Reactions.
It said, should say more and then 3 little dots.
Nope.
Okay.
Oh.
I tried.
Okay, I can move you into the rooms. Don't worry. I just was trying to avoid that with the new system. So say your name and tell me where you want to go. First person.
This is
Paul
Roger,
Chambers.
Roger Keeney, the Scouting Through Pandemic, please.
Paul Chambers, where do you want to go?
Red Jacket.
You got it. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Roger Keeney, Pandemic.
Dave Bliss, Pandemic.
Dan Berger, Red Jacket.
1 second. Let me get Dave. Next, after Dave.
Dan Berger, Red Jacket.
You got it.
Evan Bear.
Maureen Gleason, Pandemic.
Are you on the phone, Maureen?
I'm on phone and video.
What name are you using for video?
Video is Maureen Gleason.
Okay. And you want to go to where?
pandemic. Can you send my phone over there too?
What's the last four of your phone number?
It's 8022.
You got it. Bye. Next.
Kevin Bear.
Okay, Kevin Bear, where would you like to go?
Yeah, Red Jacket, please.
Bye.
Bye.
Next.
Ginny Conway, pandemic.
Bye. Next.
Chris Hanthelsner, pandemic.
I don't know if I want to do that, Chris.
Why is that?
Goodbye. Next.
Mark, it's Brittany. Could you move me into the pandemic group too? I don't have the button either.
Really?
Do I have to do an update on my Zoom account maybe?
Yeah, maybe you need to update your version of Google.
Oh, okay. Thank
I want to
you.
go to of Zoom.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah, Mark, me as well. I kept on looking. I'm like, I'm gonna find it, but I can't find it. So.
Okay. Where would you like to go, Otto?
Pandemic, the pandemic.
And I see the boys on the
Bill.
screen. Where would you
Yeah,
like?
B. Pandemic.
Great. Goodbye.
Okay, join.
No, we've only got 8 left that aren't in the group. Anybody else want to-
I'm going to say goodnight, Mark. I'm going to get off.
Okay,
good
you have a
night.
great night, Darlene. Thank you for everything.
Thank you for everything. Good night.
Good night.
Terry Romance, pandemic.
Goodbye, Terry. So we have 4 left. We have Allison, Gail, Kendra, and Mr. Dave. Would any of you like to go into any of the sessions?
Kendra is going to sign off and go feed the dogs.
Okay, they will be happy. Goodbye, Kendra. But we also have Phil Sheridan just joined. Okay. I am
No,
going to-
saying good night.
Good night. Thank you for coming.
Good night. Thank you.
Great night. And
Good night and thank you.
Good night. Have a great night. Thank you for coming. And Larry, where would you like to be, Larry?
I can move, no problem. So I'm tired of pandemic, so.
Yeah, I'm going to go over to the pandemic and just check and make sure everything's going okay.
Yep.
We were just going to hit the ground running. We were going to get super creative. So that's what we did. And that was extra tricky too, because you're now talking about working with different organizations and different community leaders, and ensuring you're following all the protocol with that too. So that was a bit of a challenge, but we survived. May, virtual pack meeting. June, we did some ranking ceremonies outside. We split it up. Some of the dens we had to split into multiple groups. But we just kept telling the kids, we're going to get through this. We're going to do what we're used to doing. It's just going to look a little bit different. And then through June, July, and August, we did a ton of community service. And then moving into the fall, things tightened up again. So we were presented with a few more challenges. We had a few more meetings to discuss kind of what we were doing and where we were going from there. We did get 3 new kids this year, which was awesome. One of whom sought us out in May. He's actually a pack transfer because his pack wasn't staying active over the summer. So they sought us out and joined. So we did, in spite of everything. Actually, we had 4 new kids. Michael, Ty, Charlie, Michael, 2 Michaels, of course. So that was remarkable as well. So then it was, we kind of had to sit back down as parents, reevaluate, update where we were with things, with what we could do, where we could do
You know, like the first aid rally or stuff like that, all that stuff is still canceled or postponed at this time?
So I
we work our calendar, tweak our calendar for the year. Our big thing was always plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D. We had backup plans for everything. So that was huge for us.
Text messages.
Yes, lots of text messages. But that was good too. We actually have more recently realized that you can't do a group message with more than 20 people. So that has created a hot mess for communication in the last month. And we have a lot of non-iPhone users, which makes things a little tricky too. So that is something we're trying to figure out still. But we're persevering, we always do. So the other thing that was extremely imperative to our functionality really were the community contacts that we were able to make. And it started with cold calls, sending emails to people we didn't know. Hi, I'm Mary Strauss. I'm the Cub Master. Can you please help me figure out something to do for my bag? But we were very successful, and we actually found that people were really receptive to that. Yeah, and really super supportive of that. So that was huge. We learned really fast that once you make a connection, you make 2 connections and then 3 connections of 4. Everybody knows somebody, especially in a town like Clarence. And then most importantly, with making those connections was maintaining them. Keeping people posted on what we were doing made them still feel involved. So they were still willing to help us. They were coming up with ideas and reaching out to us. So that was huge. I can't say enough how vital the community contacts that we've made are. And that will definitely, those are relationships our PAC will maintain indefinitely, I think. And then for the methods of staying safe, Sarah will talk to you about this, but that's also been kind of constantly changing. Masks, no masks is kind of how the first few months went. More recently, it's 10 feet or 6 feet, 10 people, no Bills parties,
Stations.
but you can go play at Lasertron. So it's all just, there's just so much
Was just, I can't expect how good they did.
And that's a good point. We kind of put a lot of pressure on our AOLs this year to step up because of the station situation. So it was always, I ran one station and the 4 AOLs ran the other 4 stations. So they have stepped up big time. Their leadership skills have improved remarkably this year. And it's funny, our parents say this is one of our best years yet. And I think it's because we just said, we need your help.
So much involvement.
And everyone just helped.
Just went with
So,
it.
sorry, go ahead with the social distancing.
Oh, I was just
children's. And then just fun stuff, hot cocoa, dreidel games. The AOLs made holiday greetings from around the world kind of flyer. So that was really cool. And then we did a virtual gingerbread house competition where we judged and voted, and Sarah got the kids awesome prizes that she dropped off at the house. So that was great. So it stunk that we were stuck doing virtual, but we only had to do one, and it was December. And then behind the scenes, had multiple community service projects going on, but our big one was each family received a no-sew fleece blanket kit that they made, and then we donated 18 blankets to Children's Hospital. And then also the entire month of December, we've been running a book drive, which has been a really safe way for kids to give back to the community and support other kids without having to be around each other. So that's been really successful. We're on the Nextdoor app. I don't know if anybody does that, but it has been exponential in reaching our immediate community. We get such great responses from people. We also do bottles and cans. So we have people reach out to us for that. We also post some of our recruiting stuff on there, flyers, things that we're doing. So if you don't do Nextdoor, I do recommend that.
We do Facebook too. We have our Facebook page. That's just for our pack. No one else can see it. We also, like, I just want to reiterate, that was another big fundraiser was that bottles and cans.
Yeah.
We right now, I think we made at least $3,000 just in bottles and cans.
We started, when did we start that?
Summer.
So sometime in the summer.
Yeah.
We do a lot of pickups. People love that. The holidays were clutch. We offered pickups after all the holidays.
Lots of mileage.
Lots of Monday morning pickups. So yeah, so rolling with the zone punches, adjusting, always making the best of it, being as prepared as possible. Like I said, plan A, plan B, plan C. We're all about backup plans. Perseverance, patience, and understanding. That's kind of our motto. That's how we talk each other through everything. But it's true. Nobody knows what the heck's going on half the time. And if we can just get through it together and kind of empathize with the scouts and empathize with the families, I mean, we can all relate. We're in the same boat. So that's been a big thing for us. Follow up, again, huge. And then, yeah, communication. The last few things, the adjustments and updates, that's pretty self-explanatory. But again, open communication. I have sent on some weeks 3 emails on a Monday. I'm canceling this. Oh wait, they said we can do it. I'm canceling it again. It's just kind of is what it is. But we feel like if we are keeping the parents abreast, then at least we're doing our part and we're telling them everything that we know. So we can't say it enough. Communication. Of course, never give up. There's always a way. There's also a lot of loopholes in life. And yeah, do your best. And I always joke with my kids, every time we sign off, I tell the boys, let the adventures continue. And this is probably one of the most unique adventures this generation will face, hopefully.
We'll remember.
Although with last week and the inauguration coming up, who the heck knows? But this has been crazy for our kids. So open communication, empathy. Just understanding that everyone's in it together. So if you guys have questions, we're open for questions now. We're open for questions via email. I know that Dara had said some PAC leadership wanted to reach out and maybe get a sample calendar if we can make that available, anything like that to help. We really, really, really encourage people to just keep at it. That's the biggest thing. So if you have any questions, we'll take them. Am I able to just close that like that?
Well, Mary, and Sarah, this is Joe Lane, the Council Commissioner. I'd just like to thank you for the outstanding presentation and say that the work that you and your group have done is exactly why you are all part of the 1,869 trained, registered Scouter Citizens of the Year from 2020. And thank you so much for everything you've done in sharing this. I don't know the name of the app, but there's an app that teachers use for group texting. And I know that one of the Scout Packs I was involved with was using that, and they could communicate with 50 people via text. Group text.
That's what we're looking into. We've tried a few that have been unsuccessful. Some of them show as a group text, but then go out as a blast. So it becomes an individual conversation, which is what's happening with us when we try to marry a conversation of iPhone users and non-iPhone users. So it's the tweaking, we're tweaking, but if you know the name of it, we would love to know.
I don't, but I imagine someone on this call might.
Okay. I don't know. I can't see everyone, I think, just because of the way it's set up. So if anyone
You
knows,
have 27 participants on this call.
well, if anyone knows this miracle app,
We've tried Team Snap.
this is Hit 'em Up is one we just tried, which has a fee. That's the other
Yeah, they
thing.
got 27.
Hi, everyone. This is John Story with 568 and
The
Clarence.
participants, 27.
Can you hear me?
The people.
Yeah.
Is it Dojo? Oh, Crystal just said that. Dojo is what my son's preschool uses. I wonder if that would work. All right, that was great. Thank you. Oh. Duo. There's another one. This is great, guys. Keep them coming. Cool. We'll look into those. Thank you. We really do appreciate the input. The group message is definitely the easiest, and we can do it individually by dens, but our numbers are so low this year. We're at 22 that we've been doing everything together. So it becomes a challenge, especially with families who mom and dad want to be on the text. So that's been a challenge. And actually, Zoom has been a challenge. We usually did Google Meets. Zoom has failed us several times.
Oh, no.
Well, if there's nothing else, I don't know. I don't think I can send you guys back to the main session, but we won't be offended if you leave.
Well, I have to thank you both. You did a wonderful job. I popped in and out like promised, and everything went just as I hoped it would.
Great. Thank you, Mark. And thank you for inviting us and having us. This is our first virtual leadership summit, which it's my understanding these are the old roundtables we used to go to.
Right. They just changed the name from Roundtable to Leadership Summit. All the patches and everything are still named Roundtable. So
yeah,
same thing. Just
well, we
working
love Scouts, but we are inundated with all the virtual stuff.
So
we're ready to get back. Yeah, with school, we're ready to get back outside and at it.
So Mary, I will say that and Mark and his team have done a great job of keeping these virtual summits going, and quite honestly, once everything is back to the way it used to be, we're still going to be presenting on a monthly basis something like this. So if you are unable to attend personally, get one of the parents in your group to attend, so that they can share the information with your committee. And that's really the best practice out there, right, Mark? We want at least one person from every single unit in the council to attend these meetings, and then to share them at the committee meeting level.
So just out of curiosity, how many units is that?
196 available units to recharter. We're still working on getting them all rechartered.
Okay.
So
today, what the number was.
Today
and how many are on tonight?
We went up to about 70 today, and at one time last month we had 140. We're able to handle 300 on this call.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So if we could get one person from every unit, second Wednesday of every month, then we could get the information out to everybody and they could disseminate it throughout their units. So you're always welcome to attend.
Well, thank you.
And they're also taped, aren't they, Mark?
Yes, they are. They're recorded, and usually it takes me a couple hours to get the recording up on the council website.
Where would I find that on the council website, Mark?
If you go to, let me pull it up. I don't always remember. So if you go to resources on the council website, there's home, about us, advancement, calendar, camping, resources. It's the very top thing. Okay, you go to that page and you see everything that we shared tonight, except for the last minute things that I won't have on there yet, like from Otto about the 3 units. And then if you scroll down, you see all the other things. And the bottom thing in each group is full recorded meeting on YouTube. Now, I did not put December's up because there was a lot of editing because it was, we had that breakdown. But in November, there was no recording, but all the previous ones you can go on and look at the recording of the meeting. Okay.
That's just a reminder, because I can hear some background noise. Just make sure that you're on mute if you're not talking.
And as the host, I am able to mute everybody, but I don't like to do that because a lot of times different people are talking for a reason and they're asking questions. And when I mute all, you have to remember to unmute yourself. So, yeah. But thank you, Ron. Anything else for this breakout room?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
This is John Story. I'm with 568 in Clarence. Mary, I was wondering if I can get your email address, and we're struggling a little bit with attendance. I'm down to 1 AOL.
What's
so
AOL?
I'm wondering, for things like Pinewood Derby and stuff like that, if maybe we can,
Yeah, definitely.
Arrow of Light, somebody asked what AOL was, Aaron.
Yeah, we're down to, unfortunately, the den leader dropped on us for AOL this year. His wife's a nurse and had some issues, so that den really fell apart. So we're struggling pretty hard this year, and I'm just wondering, you guys are right down the road and
yeah, no, we're definitely, I mean, anything we can do together. I will say this, our AOLs are pretty much done.
Yeah.
I don't believe they have much to do. So in the way of requirements, I'm not sure how much help we would be. In the way of camaraderie, we can offer that. And
yeah,
welcome that,
honestly, that's what we need right now.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. If you email cubmaster@pac93.us, that goes to both of us. And Sarah runs the AOL den. But like I said, this year we are functioning mainly as a pack. So that child would be welcome to join in whatever we're doing.
Everything together. All the requirements, we managed to do everything together.
Also, I don't know if you've spoken to Justin Hicks. He's the Cub Master of 27 in Clarence Center. He's a good friend of ours. We've done some stuff with them too. Last year, we actually did a lot with them because we have kind of not married the dens, but gotten the kids together more to kind of fill some spots that way too. So sure. I don't know what other gaps you have, but maybe even a group email with the 3 packs going would be beneficial.
That'd be great. I really appreciate your input.
Yeah, I put the email address in the chat.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
One time we talked about Carter, your den chief.
Yeah. We're not having meetings though.
Well, we're going to start opening up, I think, in the next week or 2.
Okay.
Do patrol size meetings next week and work up from there as the governor gets sued by different people. But if you've got one person at AOLs, he might want to come to the troop meetings just to get acquainted and stay focused and excited about the program. And he's welcome to come anytime.
Okay, thanks, Dave. I'll reach out to Carter and get the details. for when
I'm
you start
only
to need it.
asking Carter to be part of it because that's kind of what a den chief does, and you got to give these guys responsibility if we're going to give them credit for leadership.
Sure. Yep.
But anytime you want to call me, just give me a buzz.
Thank you very much.
Our church has been pretty good about letting us do what the law allows. And I always tell the scouts, number 5, courteous, means you really got to respect what the organization wants and not to find ways around it, just kind of fit into what we're supposed to do. Because if you keep taking shortcuts and, well, you can get away with doing this or that, they're eventually going to say, maybe I'll stay home for a while.
Yeah. No.
But we do have, a room. I don't know, you still meeting on Wednesdays?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
We've got the building on Mondays if you need to have a place to meet in a room or the gym or something like that.
Sounds good. Thank you. Appreciate the help, guys. And
We
then I have
also, oh,
sorry.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to add, our PAC is chartered through Clarence United Methodist now as well. So we can work with you there also.
Okay. Thank you. And I got a random question as long as we got a group here. Is there any update on Scout Haven and
confirmed, thing going. It's a pain. It's a pain for us too. But as soon as we get information, I will be putting it out. It'll be on the Facebook sites, of course. We'll be emailing those of you that are have down payments. Okay. We'll make sure that you get any kind of information as quickly as possible.
Sounds good. Thank you. I can imagine all the logistics that have to be thought out. It's got to be a nightmare.
Hey, Walt Disney built Disney World, right? It's in a swamp, right? So we can do it.
I'd just like to say that our ladies here from PAC 93 did a great job tonight. They lived up to all the hype.
Thank you, Mr. Wynn. Thanks, guys. We're trying.
Great job.
Thank you.
I totally love the youthful enthusiasm.
So there is a good group here on this call, and just pointing out that if you think you have something to add for next month's roundtable, shoot a email over to Mark Gaynor or to your district commissioner to share with Mark Gaynor. We are always looking for each one of the districts to do something to help support these leadership summits. And as we're on the trail of scouting, we need a lot of guides to help us find our way. So with that, I'm going to personally say thank you very much to each one of you, and I'm going to bid you all good health and go Bills as I sign off. Good night, folks.
Good night. Good night, Joe. Anything more, or should I end this session, Mary?
I'm all set, sir, if you are.
I'm all set. So everybody can exit the chat room. I'm going to move out and I'm going to end the session. There.
So
I
we
see.
didn't really go anywhere?
We're all coming back in the main session now.
Well,
So I have to figure out why some of you didn't have the join session control. It could be that you just need to update your version of Zoom, because that is a new feature. And Zoom's usually pretty good at spamming your email saying that there's new versions of Zoom out there you need to upgrade. Also, when you launch Zoom, it usually tells you you need a new version. So,
yeah, I found that this was really useful, and for the troop meetings, it'd be extremely useful because the patrols could all have their separate breakouts.
absolutely.
I could go either way, and I couldn't previously do that without some guy in control.
Right. And that control they added mid-December, and it was, pretty much the heavy duty Zoom users knew about it by January 1st. But you do have to install the newest version of Zoom, and there are 3 levels of settings now in Zoom. One of them is actually an internet web screen, a web page, and that actually controls a lot of the new features.
So who do I tell in the troop to do that? The individuals or the group leader or the host?
Well, I'm assuming most of your scouts have already Zoomed to their school at one time or another.
Right.
Yeah, so they probably know Zoom better than you.
They do, but they keep wanting to do their game chat rooms instead.
Right. And there's Kahoot, there's Jeopardy, there's all kinds of really cool games. In fact, our girl unit just did an entire Jeopardy game on first aid. And I know Quinn would be glad to share that with your, senior patrol leader and show them how to do it on Zoom. It really worked out well. So,
is that built into Zoom, or is that something they?
No, that's just an app that she had, a Jeopardy app, and she ran it using Zoom. And basically, when I share my screen or whatever, she shared her screen, and there was a big Jeopardy board with all the categories of first aid. And everybody got to talk and say, I want this for 100. And the way she ran it is if you got the answer right, you got the next pick.
Yeah, we've been using Zoom, but I like the idea of some first aid questions.
Yep.
There's a bunch of scouting questions on there we were doing.
Yep. Kahoot is a good one too, because you can put your own questions.
Yeah, they did that last one, but they're all on their phones doing it, and you got to load something on your phone. I don't want to load more stuff on my phone.
Well, you can put it on your computer. We do it with the students at school, and they're all on desktops in the lab. You get 26 of them all going at it. Now, we did this last year. The lab is not open this year because we can't social distance the kids. So
a lot of my apps are just going blank now.
Yep.
I say nothing.
All right. Anybody else have anything before I stop the recording and stop the meeting?
John must have something to say.
John? Unmute.
Hello, John.
Did you have something, John? There you go.
Were you talking to me, Dave?
Yeah. You've usually got something good to say.
I don't have anything specific on this evening, but it's good to see everyone.
Do you like having meetings like this instead of standing around round tables?
This has actually been my first exposure to roundtable, partly because I was usually working when my district was having roundtables. But certain work circumstances changed, and this format is very good, I would say.
Yep.
I think it's here to stay. I'm a roundtable guy, and you're getting 97 people show up on this. It's hard to beat.
Yep, it is, because we never got it in in-person meetings, especially in the winter when the weather would get nasty. You know, we'd be lucky at Polaris to get 14. So, yeah.
Yeah, Takanka is the only one that gets big meetings because they have food. Lots of food.
Well, I tried that, but when I put it in the CD player to pass through to everybody else, the food kind of didn't make it. You know,
Well, you
video
can't share it
makes,
anyway.
yeah. Oh, well. Well,
all right. Good night, everybody.
Thank you all. Good night. Have a great night. And I'm going to stop the recording and close the meeting. Good night.